In today's videos, we're going to be talking about proving similarity number 1. And so we're going to be deciding if polygons are similar. And there are two things that have to happen if polygons are similar. Two polygons are similar if, and note it says you must prove both criteria below. There are two different things that has to be true if we're going to say that two shapes are similar. And what we mean by similar just means they have the same shape, but they're not necessarily different sizes. So if their corresponding angles are congruent, the symbol for congruent is an equal sign with a little wavy symbol above it. So their corresponding angles are congruent. What does this mean? Matching angles have the same measure. And the measures of their corresponding sides are proportional. What does this mean? This means that their ratios of sides are equal. So an example of this, we've got two similar triangles here. Triangle, so we read this is what we call right here, this is what we call a similarity statement. We read this, that triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. And you'll notice here that these two shapes are similar. They have the same shape, they're just different sizes. We have angles, their corresponding angles are congruent. We know that because of these little angle markers. This one mark shows that it's equal to this other one mark. Then we have 2 marks on angle B and 2 marks on angle Y. That shows that those two are both equal measurements. And then there are 3 little arcs on C. There are also 3 little angle marks on Z. That tells us that those two are the same angle measure. And then if we knew their side lengths would also be proportional. That's what makes them the same size. And so the similarity statement says that triangle ABC is similar to, that's what the little squiggly mark here means, this is like a little squiggly here, is similar to triangle XYZ. And so some key points for all of this to remember is that we must compare both things. We have to compare angles and we have to compare sides. And we want to use correct vocab when we do that. Corresponding angles must be congruent. That means the same. Corresponding sides must be proportional. That means that we can set up ratios for their side lengths that are equal to one another. So writing a similarity statement. The similarity symbol, again, is this little squiggly mark. We saw that up here. It's just this little squiggly mark. And down here it says order matters. It does really matter which order we put things in. So for example, triangle, I can list the first letters in any order I choose. I'm going to go ABC just because that's alphabetical. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle. Here's where order really matters. A has one little angle marker, so I have to find the angle that has one mark here, and that has to be my first letter. Because A and D both have one mark, they're both the first letter. B and E both have 2 angle markers, so after A comes B, then I also need to find the other angle with 2 marks, which is E. And C is the last one. It has 3 little marks here, so F also has 3 little marks, so that goes last. So corresponding angles, the angles that are the same have to go in the same order when we write our similarity statement. And we read this similarity statement as triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. In this last one, we know that angles in a triangle add up to be 180. And so we've got two angles here, 30 and 102. If I wanted to find the last angle measure, I would just subtract both those numbers from 180 to get the remaining. And so G is 48 degrees. Same thing over on this triangle, I've got 102 and 48. If I do 180 minus 48 minus 102, I'm left with 30 degrees, so angle M is 30 degrees. The reason I need to know those missing angle measures is so that when I order this in the similarity statement, that I do them in the same order. So in this case, triangle, I'm going to list the first one in alphabetical order. E, F, G is similar to, I put my little squiggly mark, triangle. Now, angle E is 102, so I have to find the 102 angle marker here. That's L. L goes first. F is 30 degrees, so I have to find the angle that's 30 degrees on the second one. That's M. And G is 48 degrees, so I have to find the angle that's 48 degrees. In this case, that's N. So we say that triangle EFG is similar to triangle LMN. And we say that in order, it's super duper important that each of those angles that we list are listed in the same order of their degree angles, so that when we read this similarity statement, we can easily pick out which angles correspond to one another. E and L correspond to one another, F and M correspond to each other, and G and N correspond to each other. And remember that what we know about corresponding angles are congruent.